changed. Patrick Mahomes is literally younger than me. And I realize
That's
it's
true.
also changed at my current job as a live streamer. I'm one of the people who have been here longer, one of the older people. And I feel like people aren't appreciating that fact. The live streaming landscape has changed a lot. I even just wanted to check. So I looked. These were the biggest live streamers in the world as far as English-speaking live streamers 4 years ago, January 2020. And there's a lot of names here that are mostly my age or older. The Summits, the XQCs, the Lyrics. Now,
Yeah, but the problem is most of these people are now on Kick, like XQC. I'm pretty sure Lyric had a lot of controversies too. If you like it, same with Summit. But Summit's been a top streamer for a long time either way.
there's some familiar names there, like Tyler.
Yeah,
and
Kaisenat.
still, but also a lot of young.
I don't even know who this is.
Jinxies, the Quesos, the Kais.
Oh, Tyler won?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a young man's game. And it's changed. It's changed so much.
That's true.
I want to talk about how much it's changed today, speaking through the lens of Pokey. Because she tweeted out something cryptic a couple days ago. The end of an era. Twitch has been my home for a decade, ellipsis. And then posted a screenshot of someone downloading the Twitch app, but her face is there because she's basically been the face of Twitch for a long, long time. People thought she might have signed somewhere exclusively.
They even got it. Yeah, they're even on the homepage.
She followed up today and she said, let's explore something new together. First YouTube stream tomorrow. No strings attached.
Yeah, but with Pokimane and a lot of the female streamers, they left because they said Twitch was like red-pilled. Which I don't feel like that's true. I feel like now more than ever, Twitch is more like supportive towards female streamers. And not just because of like raunchy content. Like anytime you go on like Twitch and go like just chatting or whatever, yeah, you'll see like a couple like crazy kind of streams. But for the most part, it's like pretty cleaned up.
We don't have to theory guess on what that means. She expanded on her podcast and said she's not signing an exclusive deal with any platform.
I also agree with that. I think if you could do multi-streaming on any platform, that's like the move. Especially as a big content creator, why would you not try to do multi-streaming?
And then she followed up and said Twitch has regressed a bit, and that's why she doesn't want to be exclusive there or put as much energy into just streaming. She's called it messy. Kind of dug into Twitch a bit there. But it's true. We haven't seen these huge exclusive deals, the ones that I used to talk about all the time, like XQC signing a $100 million deal.
But even with this deal, with a $100 million deal, it's not like he's getting this cash. Like it's going to be through stocks. It's going to be part of the Kick. Like he probably gets equity in the company. So I don't even know. And plus you have to be on Kick too, which is not like going to be a high, like a really great platform in general.
In a while. In fact, think back to the last YouTube exclusive streamer. Like who got signed recently?
Ludwig.
Some re-signings. I got re-signed just a couple of months ago. But the last person who I think exclusively signed with YouTube was FaZe Swag back in September 2022.
Yeah, but who's watching FaZe Swag?
A long time ago. And Twitch hasn't been doing a lot of exclusive signings either. In fact, they're trying to do the opposite. Dan Clancy, the CEO, said at TwitchCon, today we are taking it a step further and announcing that we are allowing simulcasting on any live streaming service. Their whole philosophy has been, hey, we don't want to sign anyone exclusively. We want to just have people stream on all the platforms possible, and we think our platform is the best, so people will go to us anyway.
That's a problem, though, is Twitch has such a prominent, like, everybody knows what Twitch is, so most people are going to stream on Twitch, like, they think you can't leave, because where else are you going to go? But I also think, like, the YouTube, like, I feel like as far as my YouTube goes, I feel like it's easier to build an audience now live streaming on YouTube than it is on Twitch, especially. Or you can go on TikTok too, and it's definitely helpful on TikTok because the discoverability is 10 times better on TikTok, but it's also not bad on YouTube either. On Twitch, if you have like I have like a couple of viewers on right now, it's gonna be impossible for people to find me on Twitch. I feel like and there's no exclusive contracts on Twitch. Like there's no partnerships anymore. You're only affiliate. If there's no partnerships, why would you only stream on Twitch?
The only people who've been signing exclusively has, of course, been Kick, who have signed quite a few people exclusively.
Yeah, Disney, Trainwreck.
Remember, was Nick Merckx back in
love Nick Merckx.
2023. But even Kick has kind of slowed down a bit. To be fair, they did spend hundreds of millions of dollars, so I get it, but they've slowed down. Now, the reason everyone has slowed down isn't because of live streaming itself has slowed down. I mean, quite the opposite. In the past year, it's been doing better than really since COVID, right? If we look at this, January 2023, we had 2.4, almost 2.5 million average concurrent viewers. Now we're up to 2.6 with
That's also because of TikTok. I feel like because of TikTok being able to live stream, most people are on TikTok now rather than Twitch, and it's like I said, the discoverability is way better. But also with now on Twitch is losing a lot of revenue because mostly they used to do a 50-50 split with the subs, but now and if you're a high level streamer, you could do like 70-40 or 70-30 or whatever, 60-40. But now they're not doing that anymore because they don't have the partnerships. So they don't even make money on subs. All their money is coming from ad revenue, which they're losing a ton of money off that because the viewership's going down. Even though here it shows it's going up a little bit, but that's like an entire year apart, and it's barely went up.
Also, more live streamers. So it's quite a healthy scene. But why aren't people signing exclusive contracts anymore? What happened to these $10 million, $5 million, $100 million deals? And the answer.
That's a good point too, but the only one that I know that has gotten signed to big contracts is Kaisenat got signed to one, which was like 40 mil, but that was like through FaZe. It was through a partnership. It wasn't even through like with Twitch or a live streaming company. The only one who's gotten a big exclusive deal, damn, Lowood's staring in my soul right now, was XQC. Is the last one I can really remember.
That it's just not worth it for the companies. I mean, look, these companies are spending a lot of money, not on streaming exclusively, but on running a streaming platform.
Yeah.
Twitch literally cut 1/3 of its staff. So it doesn't make sense to start paying for exclusive content because it hasn't really shifted on who has a majority in the live streaming space.
Yeah,
Twitch's philosophy.
That's true, but most of the live streamers make up like 90% of the revenue for Twitch. Like Kaisenat, when he did his subathon, he made it like Twitch like $20 million. Same thing with Lugwood when he did his month-long subathon, and then when he tried to re-sign with Twitch, they didn't even give him an exclusive deal, and he's probably like the most Twitch-friendly streamer besides Pokemon. So I would say like it's not friendly for like smaller streamers; it's more friendly, and Twitch supports the larger streamers.
Philosophy of, well, hey, we don't need to sign anybody because people just think we're the best platform and will stream on our website, has somewhat held true.
Yeah.
I did a survey
and I
asked 30 of the biggest streamers in the world what the best streaming platform was. 28 said Twitch, 1 said YouTube, and 1 said multi-streaming. Nobody said Kick. To be fair, maybe I didn't ask the right crowd. But the fact remains, I think that era is gone. And I think that because YouTube has even said to me, hey, we're not going to sign you to another deal. Like I'm currently signed to be a mostly exclusive streamer with YouTube. I can do some events on Twitch and YouTube like I've talked about. But after this runs out, it's kind of done. And I don't think they're going to sign anybody else. I don't think they're just like, hey, it's done for you, but we're going to.
That's because they don't really need to. Like unless you're building a platform like Kick, you don't really need to sign big streamers to come over to your platform. You already have big streamers who do multi-streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. And then if you're already on Twitch, most of your following is going to be on Twitch originally, especially if you've been streaming the past 5 years. Because YouTube didn't even have a live following for the longest time. So it doesn't really make sense to switch, and you don't really need to give content creators a large deal like that, in my opinion, because they're going to have to pick a platform regardless, or they're just going to multi-stream and they're not going to take a deal. They'll just take it off the sub revenue that they get on both platforms and sponsorships, whatever.
I'm going to do some other people. I don't expect that to be the case. They could surprise me. We'll see. But I think that's mostly done. I think Twitch is the same. I don't think Dan Clancy wants to be in the business of paying people millions of dollars. I think Kick,
it's not profitable.
Although they have billions of dollars from stake and they could maybe sign some more exclusive contracts, I don't think they will be doing at least a lot of it. Because
I thought another whole deal with the stake. Also, like the gambling websites, like Stake still has, like Twitch is against that, but Stake still has advertisements that they run on Twitch. So there's clearly a partnership there. So I don't understand why they wouldn't allow their content on Twitch. Same with YouTube, but I don't really see that like those type of advertisements on YouTube really at all. Unless like you're like really into those streams, maybe they pop up every now and then because Google, I think Twitch's like AI advertisements is terrible because really all the information they can even get from you is like, oh, I watch I don't know, Kaisenat. So it's gonna show you advertisements of people who are like content like Kaisenat, which is usually like a younger audience, whereas like Google, like I think we've all like been talking about something or thinking about something, like for example, I was like on the Epic Games launcher the other day, pulled it up, And then I was thinking about, oh, man, I kind of want to play Star Wars Survivor again. And then all of a sudden they started popping up deals for that. So I think we've all like had that like experience where you like think of something, or like you're talking about something and then you get an advertisement for it. Like Google is like by far, like their AI system is insane with that.
It seems to be just kind of a money hole and a money sink, and they haven't gained much market share by signing all these people. So that whole ecosystem for creators is dead. It is gone, and I don't think it is ever coming back. And it gets a little worse for creators, because I'm a little bit concerned that this could long-term impact Twitch. Is Pokey right to say that Twitch is a bit messy and it's regressing and it's not that appealing of a choice?
Well, the thing with like the Pokemon drama, she tried to sell cookies to her audience for like $12, and then when people didn't buy the cookies, she called them all broke boys. But you're selling cookies. Like, it's not like a game or like a subscription to something, like other content of some sorts. It's just purely cookies. I'm not going to pay $12 for cookies. And then if I don't buy the cookies, you call me a broke boy. And then when that all came out, then she just said, oh, Twitch is red pilled, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think it's more female friendly now more than ever.
Well, let's take a look at some recent news. Obviously, they had the layoffs.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they also dropped this, an update to several streamer payout programs. Now, I saw some people talk about this as if it was a good thing.
Okay, let's see. So expanding the Partner Plus program to give more streamers access to increase net revenues. I thought they were going away with this partner program entirely. Eliminating the 100K cap for 70-30. Yeah, so like if you hit 100K revenue on like your subs or your advertisements, whatever, on Twitch, you could get a split of like 70-30 to where like you're getting 70%, Twitch gets 30%. I thought they were going away with this a long time ago because they're not profitable when it comes to like subs. Changing the Prime game payout model to a fixed rate for each country. But Amazon owns Twitch, so I don't really know why this even matters. I mean, it's all getting circulated regardless. So
they basically expanded the Partner Plus program, which is allowing people to get a 70-30 split. And before they had a 100K cap on that 70-30 split, they've removed that cap. That's mostly a good thing for people who are earning more than $100,000 a year. They just will be able to earn more money. They'll get more of their share. But they also snuck in a change to the Prime Gaming subscription payout.
Yeah, I'm curious what he has to say on this.
Including myself.
Come on, bro. No one hit me 12 ads, Lugwood, for real.
And this one's pretty fucking huge. I feel like people didn't talk about this enough. They've changed it, so now when somebody
25, 225.
It is a fixed rate depending on where in the world you got your Amazon.
So you're really only getting like $1 per subscription from the Prime Gaming, but they're getting most of that revenue anyways. It's getting circulated regardless because Amazon owns Twitch. Like
Prime membership. So if you're a North American streamer and you have someone from the US who uses a Prime, you now get a flat $2.25. When I stream,
because it's $5. Yeah.
So if I got a Prime, I would get 70% of that sub, $3.50.
Right, yeah.
I mean, even if you got a 50-50, that would still be $2.50, right? And it's even worse if you have a lot of viewers who are outside of the U.S. Like, let's say you mainly stream to
that's a good point.
You're only getting $1.08.
I mean, most streamers that are in the United States are going to be pulling a United States audience. As far as my analytics, because I can see it on TikTok, I don't know if I can pull. I can't pull it up because I'm live right now to show you guys. But like, it's like 20% is in Mexico, 20% is in like the UK too, and then the rest is in the United States. So I guess that could come into play, but that's on TikTok. I doubt on Twitch that would really be applicable. In Turkey, you're getting 9 cents. That's insane.
So let's say perhaps you are an e-girl streamer and you stream content that is generally for maybe an audience from a country who doesn't have a lot of pornography, so they like watching, live streaming.
Pornography, yeah, corn.
You now get 9 cents per Prime. And it makes sense on paper. I think Amazon Prime in Turkey is like $1 a month if you do the currency exchange.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be like hemorrhaging $2.50.
That's not even like,
but this is
on the transaction fees, you're losing money on that.
A huge fucking change. And I think most people are now going to be earning less money as a Twitch streamer because of this change in Prime.
Yeah.
It's great for the people who are part of the Partner Plus program who are earning more than $100,000. That's a pretty small list. Most streamers aren't there, right? That's like a couple thousand people.
That's what I was kind of going back to what I was saying. Like, the only people this is really impactful to is like low-level streamers. So what, brother? It's not just a reaction that I wanted to kind of react to this. Because it's a big deal that Pokemon's leaving Twitch to kind of multi-stream. But I would be, and more so, I think it's to try to get a contract from Twitch because she's basically the poster girl of Twitch. That's kind of what led to it. But like I was saying, like 90% of, or 80 to 90% of Twitch's income is off like the top like 2% of streamers. Like if you're pulling in like 400 people, you're like in the 0.01% of streamers.
But out of the 7 million people who go live every month, most are going to be negatively impacted. That, along with a lot of people trying out YouTube because of this new non-exclusive thing that Twitch is trying to explore, I think might hurt them long term.
Yeah.
For example, there's a lot of streamers who started streaming on YouTube who are doing really fucking well. Like Moist Critical, whose viewership has...
It's hard to like... Moist Critical's been in the game for so long, though. That is messed up. Say more. Moist Critical's... like, everybody kind of knows who Moist Critical is. You've probably seen him before, like, at least at some point. So most people already know who this is. So for, I don't know if that's a great example. I think there's like I think for the majority of people, if they try to move over from purely Twitch to YouTube, it'd be hard to move the audience, in my opinion.
Has skyrocketed on YouTube.
Like he's gonna be popular regardless.
Like 8 to 12,000 on Twitch. Now he averages like 15 to 25,000.
Oh yeah, that is a big jump.
Doug has similarly averaged about 10,000 viewers on YouTube at any given live stream. We also have Tens, who's been live streaming on YouTube, and they've been doing incredibly well.
Yeah, I don't know if I like these are already YouTubers who have like millions of subscribers, so it's like easier to like post a video and then go live, and then as the traffic floods in, people are gonna click on the live regardless. You know what I mean? Tens is like one of the best Valorant players in the world right now, so people are just like it doesn't really matter about his personality. People are going to just watch for the gameplay, similar with like Shroud. I don't know if these are like the best examples, but the boost in viewership is
right now,
pretty interesting.
Live streaming on YouTube to 2,500 people. On Twitch, he's at about 1,800.
Yeah, not bad.
Live streaming could be the meta. Like, excuse me, multi-streaming could be the meta. That could be the truth, and this would be great for Twitch if it was. But the reason people prefer Twitch is because, one, they have a lot more tools better as a creator to do the streaming. But most lurkers, which is the bulk of all viewers, tend to prefer YouTube. And unless Twitch offers more...
Yeah, same thing with TikTok, right? I think TikTok, YouTube, that's like the bulk of, like, most of it's lurkers. Like, you get some people commenting, but the majority is just people lurking. So, like, I kind of understand with that, but I don't think that would change with YouTube. I guess, like, the YouTube audience is more used to, like, commenting on videos and whatnot. I guess I could see that coming into factor, but I don't know how true that is.
Via Primes, which is basically a subsidized subscription that Twitch gives to the viewers. What is the point of streaming on Twitch? Like, the culture's amazing, but if you are making more money and you get more viewers on YouTube, why will people stick with Twitch? So I don't know,
at the end of the day, it's way harder to pull your audience over on YouTube. It just is, especially from TikTok. It's just extremely more difficult. So, like, if you already have an audience built on Twitch, unless you're incentivized with a contract, there's no real reason to switch, in my opinion.
I have a prediction, all right? If Twitch keeps going down this current trend, and that's a big if they keep trying to cut costs, if they slash Prime even further, or maybe remove it altogether, I think we're going to see a big migration from people going from Twitch over to other websites. Not necessarily YouTube, but I've looked at the numbers. Here's Q4 hours watched for each website. You can see Twitch had a nice December, 1.79 billion. Still the big dogs.
Because I was watched,
Gaming, pretty fucking close, though. At 467 million hours watched. Right? Just about like a fourth of what Twitch had. Kick had a bit of a bump, 112. Still there.
Yeah, but the problem is that they're not considering is like view botting, which is a huge problem on all these platforms. I don't know about YouTube, but like, how many of these are view botted? Like you go on, I'll see stuff on Kick or even like TikTok too, where someone will have like 1,000 viewers and there'll be like no comment, nobody's even in the chat, or there'll be just like random people commenting W, and you can see that all the time on like Kick and Twitch, just to get like to the top of the for you page.
And then what might be interesting is also Africa TV.
Yeah, I don't even know what this
Twitch
is.
Is going to cut all of their service in Korea February 27th. And Africa TV is the second largest live streaming platform in Korea, so they should see a huge bump in March. That'll be interesting to see. I want to look at these stats a year from now and talk about it, but that's the changing landscape. If anyone has lost their job in esports and is watching this, I hope you're doing good, man. That's fucking
honestly, W. Ludwig, great creator. Pretty much someone who I look up to. Just a G in the content creation space. Face drama, I did see that. I did see this. There's a really good video I wanted to like react to. Here's Rob. I'm going back to Twitch. This lady pissed me off. New Twitch meta is dead. Huge Pokemon scam? Let's see.
Yo, I
have not played Palworld yet. Is it good? Have people actually been like enjoying that game? I felt like it kind of died off.
Being a complete and total scam. Or at least that's what I've heard. What's the actual truth? Let's find out. I'm, of course, talking about Palworld, a game that's taken the world by storm.
Yeah, I haven't played it.
And everybody's giving it great reviews, but don't just...
This is kind of what I was saying a little bit ago about like Elden Ring when I think Ghost was asking me about it. Like, Elden Ring's a phenomenal game, but when people ask me, like, I feel like people play games because of FOMO that they don't actually enjoy playing. And I kind of find that with Elden Ring, like my brother was not into it at all, but he kind of just played it because I was like, it's so good, you have to play it. I kind of feel like that way with Palworld. Like, I could play it, but I don't know how much I would actually enjoy the game itself. And then I'm just kind of playing it to be like, well, all these people like it. It's got to be good. I should just play it. There's got to be something here. And then you just end up like hating the game. Or you'll get like 40 hours into a game and you're like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. I felt that way with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like exactly my concerns. Yeah. Like when I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's how it was. I got probably like 40 hours into the game and I was like, it got repetitive, and I was just like, I think I'm done with this. And I just put it down and never played it again. You know, Dying Light? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like there's certain games where it's like a really good introductory or everybody likes it and loves it. Like The Walking Dead, but that actually met my expectations. The Walking Dead was great. But there's a lot of those games where people just play just to play or they stream it just to stream it, whatever. And which is fair. But that's kind of how I feel with Palworld. I'm like, if I play Palworld, I really have never played Pokemon games before. I might enjoy it. But when I saw the drop off of how many people stopped playing it after its release, that kind of like was like, okay, I think this is more just for like Pokemon fans rather than like people who actually are enjoying the game. In my opinion.
My word for it. Let's listen to Charlie talk about it.
Yeah, I've actually heard good things about this.
Reviews are in, baby. That's Moist Critical himself. He's played the shit out of this game. He has a lot more to say.
Yeah, I value Moist Critical's opinion too.
About it. But there's also like
I think he has good
other
takes.
Streamer on the planet who's playing it, and then everyone who's not a streamer also playing it.
Oh, really?
In fact, Palworld has the highest concurrent player count of any paid game in the history of Steam.
Okay, let's see. So Palworld, Cyberpunk, damn, it really picked up because after launch, like everybody knows, this was like really bad. Really fell off. Elden Ring. For playability for Elden Ring can only get so far. Like you're probably gonna play this like maybe twice. I played it twice. I'll probably play it a third time. Hogwarts Legacy, I don't really. I feel like most people that play Hogwarts Legacy like play because of like the decoration in the garden and they're like recycling that. I don't know how much replayability you're playing like through the campaign necessarily. And then these are like more like open RPGs, New World, Valheim, Baldur's Gate 3, which I thought would actually be higher. As someone who has, I gotta open my other chat. My bad. My bad, Sabby. I didn't have my chat open. My bad. As someone who's played Palworld, I vote against getting it. It's really fun, but the novelty wears off pretty quick. That'd be my concern with it, right? Because I feel like I probably would give it a good, fair shot. And I would either get really into it, or I feel like it would just wear off. But I've never really been into Pokemon games in general, so I don't know how much I'd really love that. And then obviously Terraria. Fallout 4 is coming up because of the show. But people are replaying it. Makes sense, bro. I cannot sleep. Damn. It's better multiplayer, but just, yeah. That's fair.
Sort of. Technically, it's number 2. PUBG actually has that record with like 3-point-something million, but then they went free to play. But it's up there, man. It is up there, along with like Cyberpunk and Elden Ring. I think it's even beaten that record. It's like at 1.5 million concurrent players. They've sold over 5 million copies for a...
Yeah, I get what he's saying. But even when Diablo 4 came out, like we saw like the advertisements for that, like they had Megan Fox, Halsey did a song about it. They had like advertisement everywhere. Like you really couldn't go anywhere without seeing Diablo 4. and you don't even see that game on this list. And it like recently came out probably like a year ago, 6 months, something like that, right? And so like the initial copy sold is more hype, and that's what I pay a bit more attention to, is less the hype and the sales, more so like the longevity of the game and how like the replayability. Because I'm gonna buy a game for, let's say, $70, $80, whatever. I want to be able to play that game for a period of time. I don't want to have to like put it back down and never play it again. And like a lot of these new releases, that's how they are.
Paid game. It is huge. But what is the game? At its core, it's
right.
a game where you capture pals. And you use these pals to like maybe gain experience by destroying other pals, or maybe weakening those pals to capture them and adding them to your team. And if that sounds anything like Pokemon, it's because it has some similarities. It has some similarities.
Got it. So it's not like a direct Pokemon game, because in my mind, the whole point of this, or at least the interest that I would have into playing Palworld, would be to be able to capture the Pokemon and then fight in PvP or something like that, have duels. That's more so what I'd be interested in than just capturing the creatures and trying to like catch them all, if in a sense.
Similar. I'd be stupid to admit that it had no similarities. It has some similarities, but it's not a one-to-one clone. Right? The game's not like a turn-based RPG. You kind of flow through and you do battles more freely, and you can also like kill Pokemon outright and butcher them. You can capture trainers. You can also butcher the trainers, which I think is just slavery and murder. It's kind of like an adult version with
definitely a good time.
Pokemon themes in it, some elements of Pokemon, but in a I guess more fresh way to play it. And people are upset because they're claiming that this game has totally ripped off Pokemon. And I get why the concerns are coming out.
Well, isn't this a Pokemon game? Like, I'm assuming they have, like, I don't know, some type of affiliation. I don't think it'd be a direct ripoff. I would assume they're, like, associated.
Well, it's a very impactful game. It's a lot of people's personalities. So I can just be blunt about it.
Some people don't like that. Oh, yeah, true. My nocturnal life.
Come up and rip it off pisses some people off. And they've drawn some comparisons to the Palworld pals versus the Pokemon themselves, and here's one of the more blatant examples I've seen 100 times: the Galarian Meowth being stolen by the Palworld designers, and you can.
The catching mechanics is what makes it similar to Pokemon. Outside of that, it doesn't play like Pokemon at all. Hey, what's up, dude? We're doing some reaction videos. Welcome in, brother.
Judge for yourself whether it's actually.
Is it a for open world sandbox, that kind of stuff? That would make sense, right? That's kind of the meta.
I saw this thread of 100 like different
maybe just like inspired
Pokemon that it draws inspiration from. I will say
you can definitely see that for sure, but
right, like a lot of them is just like, hey, it is a furry.
Yeah, it's basically cut and paste, right? I mean, you can definitely tell the similarities. This one, I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch. And here's the thing with games, guys, like anytime a game comes out, you're either the type of person where you either look at the positives or you look at the negatives and you just try to pick the game apart, but no game upon launch or even like probably like midway through the year is going to be like perfect. So I feel like people just kind of have like an issue in general with like finding things in games rather than just enjoying it for what it is. Like even Elden Ring, as being as good as it is, like there's still issues with it, even though it's one of the best games of all times. Also, the guy who created Palworld had zero experience making video games. Oh. And they made a better game than Pokemon, and that's coming from someone who's played Pokemon since the 90s. That's interesting. I'd have to look more in depth on kind of the developers and how they handled the game, but I could see like they're getting some similarities, but it's a Pokemon game. Like there's going to be inspiration from Pokemon. So that's why I don't get like the hate. I feel like this is like you're trying to find something to hate on. Like no matter what, people will find a reason to complain. Yeah, exactly. Like this is like kind of reaching for me a little bit.
Like creature. And it's like Pokemon didn't invent a goddamn ferret. That's just we got like those creatures in our world, and they're called animals.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Animals, but some are like, okay, yeah, that color scheme is kind of similar. That one maybe perhaps is a little more similar.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So there are similar comparisons, but it's gonna take inspiration from Pokemon. That makes sense.
Trying to draw connections and seeing what is valid, what is not valid.
Yeah.
Some, I would say, a little more wishy-washy, like this one. You know,
but isn't that like is such a stretch? Like there's only so many designs you can do within a game. You know what I mean? Especially a game that's going to be similar in nature. Like it's a Pokemon game. Like, yeah, they're going to take inspiration from
really
Pokemon.
Just take over all feathers or the color green.
Yeah.
And some are a little more concerning. Like the models of a PAL and a Pokemon lined up next to each other, specifically Luxray and one of the PALs called Boltmane.
Yeah, I guess.
Look pretty similar.
I'll be fair. I guess that's true. Like if I'm looking at it objectively, that's true.
And so I get why people are bringing up the concern. But let's not pretend that Pokemon themselves haven't drawn inspiration from other games. In fact, this is one of Pirate Software's arguments, is that a lot of the Pokemon we know are just creatures or inspired by creatures.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even these, I've never even heard of Dragon Quest. I don't even know what this game is. Never heard anything about it. These are going to still have similar creatures. There's only so much you can do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, this is going to be similar. Yeah, of course. Like, there's only so many designs you can make as far as, like, creatures of, like, that kind of, like, aesthetics.
From Dragon Quest, like Zubats,
yeah,
inspired from this Dragon Quest monster, and there's some other ones that maybe don't make as much sense, like this one for Dragonite. And so
you could even argue, yeah, it looks like Charizard. Like, I'm going to try to sleep. Good night again. Cats, have a day. Good night. Appreciate you too.
So this is like the counter argument that I'm seeing a lot. But the fact is that the Palworld devs have not, at this point, received any legal issues from Nintendo. And let me tell you, Nintendo will give it out if they want to give it out. They've given it to me good. Nintendo left me no holes refused here, okay? I got a cease and desist myself. So a game that has 1.5 million sales, that is literally...
The human brain can't really make up new things, only change what's existing. Yeah, and plus you're going to... Everybody takes inspiration from everybody. It's not like you... Like, yeah, in some sense, like, you might have, like, created something brand new that's totally original. Sure, but, like, that person also took inspiration from somebody else and was able to create that. It's, like... Unless you're creating like the light bulb, but even like Thomas Edison, like he's gonna get inspiration from that, like somebody else, right? So it also a lot of them based on real and mythical creatures, so they're gonna be a little similar, at least. Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Literally being marketed by everyone as Pokemon with guns. If they had any legal grounds to take them down, I think they would take that action.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely would.
Campaign of
why would you not?
Palworld is a ripoff. It has led to some unfortunate consequences for some of the artists on the Palworld team. And this is from the lead developer and the CEO of the company, Takuro Mizobe, who said, currently we are receiving slanderous comments against our artists, and we're seeing tweets that appear to be death threats.
Yeah.
And he just said, hey, I'm the guy in charge here, so if you want to slander someone...
I don't know. So, I don't know. When it comes to this type of content, right? Or not content, but this type of it. Like, I need the evidence. Like, I feel like this gets thrown around so much when people are, like, getting quote-unquote canceled. Like, you got to show me the evidence of this. Like, you can't just make a tweet and then expect me to, like, believe you. Like, I understand you're getting a lot of, like, hate. Like, people are passionate about Pokemon. It's been around a long time. Makes sense. Also, I think we can all agree, like, it's a little crazy and uncalled for. People take things way too far. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, rational people won't act like this. Like, they're not gonna make those type of threats. Like, I think we all can agree on that. Like, if you're a rational person, you just know that that's, like, not okay, and you wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, when you're making, like, kind of claims like this, yeah, I kind of need to see, like, evidence.
Slander me, not the artist, which, you know, that's a noble thing to say. But is there any validity in it?
Right, exactly.
We can let Nintendo make that call, right? I don't think we need to defend Nintendo or white
people be crazy for real though.
Nintendo, a very litigious company, will do it for themselves. If
yeah.
they truly think that somebody is stealing their models.
Yeah, why would you not?
Be the thing that's a crime if they were stealing or copying models. And the models are available. I'm pretty sure they've, like, every single fan at some point has ripped models from every single Pokemon game.
Agreed.
So it would be feasible to do, and if it's found out that has happened, that would be fucked up. That'd be fucked up,
yeah,
and then they should receive some repercussions, whether it's giving Nintendo a big bag of money or taking their game down.
Yep.
But if all that's happening is that artists are inspired by some Pokemon from Nintendo who's made like over 1,000 Pokemon that are...
That's what I was saying. Like, if you're they're probably just taking inspiration from the, like, other developers, or other developers have worked on similar games in the past. Because usually, if you're working on these type of games, like, the devs are pretty, I think, kind of just circulate a little bit. If you've worked on a Pokemon game in the past, or have like worked on a company that's done the Pokemon games, yeah, you're gonna use that type of same animations, the same design. So I don't know.
Oftentimes based off very...
And it's a Pokemon game. Like, you're gonna take information from Pokemon.
Then I don't think that should be such a big deal and we should be flaming them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the only complaint that people are levying against Palworld. Because the other big one is that Palworld is using AI to make...
Palworld says proof that despite protestations, most people will cave in and use AI product because of some loophole. It's fun. It doesn't feel like AI. Because when this happens on a wild scale further... Yeah, I don't understand the hate on using AI. Every game in history has pretty much used AI, like even going back to Skyrim, when you go up to an NPC, or like in The Walking Dead, right? When you like interact with, and I like, for example, made the wrong decision, it says, oh, Lee will remember that. Like that's AI. So I think people nowadays use like keywords as AI because it's hot, rather than actually trying to find something that's like wrong. Like any of the new products coming out, I was like, oh, this is AI. So because it's hot and they want to sell the product, but AI's been around forever. So I don't really.
Their game.
I think this is a baseless claim.
That people are falling for this AI product because it's fun and doesn't feel like AI, and now AI is going to take over.
It's a buzzword. Yeah, exactly. It's just a buzzword. Thank you, Magnar. I appreciate you.
America, sad day for the world. But there's no real evidence that the game uses AI. The evidence is that the lead...
Well, even if it probably uses AI to some extent, for sure, but like, why is that a bad thing? I don't understand. Everybody's using AI.
Very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game called AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was...
They could just do Art Imposter. They don't even need to include the AI, but it's a buzzword. People are going to like buy it because it's AI. But obviously it's going to be AI regardless.
Like one of the games, and yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people and we should not support AI across the board. It's kind of become a taboo word like crypto or NFTs.
Yeah,
we don't really care
100%.
about looking into the details of the project. If it has the word AI, we're pretty much out. All right, and because this person used to be, or
I don't necessarily, I don't really agree with that. I think like crypto and NFT, yes. Like if someone was like, I'm making an NFT game, you'd be like, okay, stop talking to me. Like I'll be arm's length away. But like with AI, I think it's pretty hot right now. I think most people want to like get into AI or use AI to like better, like just in general Twitter population is crazy way to describe a set of people. Yeah, absolutely.
To be very
absolutely
about AI. It's likely perhaps that Palworld has used AI to make this game come to life.
Yep.
There's more arguments that are following that.
Even if they did, I wouldn't care.
Basically kind of just trying to frame the team in a certain way to make the argument rather than using evidence directly from the game to make the
argument. It's a baseless claim.
I don't really like just, hey, this person is bad based off their history, and that is why we should not support it. Versus we have...
Once again, though, they're reaching. They have no evidence whatsoever, but they're trying to discredit the game by saying it's made by AI and then reference like the creator, Takiro Mizobi. I butchered that he has a history of using AI. Who cares? Like I said, they're just reaching in general.
Clear proof of AI being used, so we should not support it. Because I understand the moral line of not wanting to support AI games because you like humans and what humans make. But be sure. Be right. Don't just slander a character. And
yeah, exactly.
And then there's a couple other complaints, which is that, hey, this isn't the first time that the Palworld team has stolen before. What you're looking at is not a lot.
It's just assisting. Exactly.
Is actually another game they made.
That's a good point. You still need people to run the AI. People still have to create the AI. It's AI. It's not like it's like this self-automated machine. I think that people think that it is. You know what I mean? So I'm sure in some sense, and I don't even think it's well developed enough to where it could be in the position to take other people's jobs. Maybe in some sense, but those would be smaller positions that probably don't need to be available at the company if that is the case. And we've seen that like with Twitch, X, where they were able to lay off all these people once new ownership took over and run the company just fine. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's what happens.
Called Craftopia, which is being called out for being very similar to Breath of the Wild. It's being resurfaced now.
These are 3 unique Manscaped trimmers.
Made this game which people are saying it looks very similar to Hollow Knight and was massively
I thought this was Hollow Knight.
or
Yeah.
stole from Hollow Knight. So I'm just trying to give you the full context here of why we are in this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
And it is pretty obvious to me that it all stems from the fact that this game is being marketed as Pokemon with guns. Everyone's talking about it as adult Pokemon, or the Pokemon game we've always wanted. And as a huge Pokemon fan who thinks Black and White 2 are the greatest Pokemon games ever made,
Never played them. Don't have an opinion.
it's been a tough, fucking decade for Pokemon, man. The games have been, I think, pretty mid, right? The Pokemon designs have sometimes been a little lackluster in recent years. The gameplay and the games from Game Freak look bad. It looks like a PS2 game, but it's all we get. So we just eat it. We eat the slop that they feed us because...
Yeah, but that's not like... I think like with Pokemon, that's not just Pokemon's fault. That's games in general. Like rarely are games ready upon launch, in my opinion. So they just kind of throw it out because they have to. I mean, they've been working on it for so long. They kind of just throw the game out there. Same thing that happened with Halo, with like Halo Infinite and Halo 4. Like Halo 3 is not up with like Modern Warfare or any of the games at that time. And they just didn't keep up because they released games that were not ready upon launch, and it killed the game. I don't think this is like specifically a Palworld issue necessarily. I think it's just like the gaming era that we're in.
Because we like Pokemon because it was part of our childhood. That's how I feel. And I wish they would make something that's more innovative. And Palworld did that. And so I feel like it is creating a divide between people who liked Pokemon and now like this new thing because they've grown up with Pokemon and they like that sort of gameplay and the art style or whatever. And then people who just wish that that Game Freak could do it right and they don't want someone else to steal it and everyone to leave the Pokemon universe because they've put so much time and effort into this thing.
Yeah.
But unless it's proven that they've stolen designs, stolen models, used AI to generate their pals, then I really think it is a nothing burger. It is as big of a problem, and maybe we could argue this is a huge problem we should talk about, but it's a different one, as Valorant taking inspiration from CSGO.
Oh, yeah.
Right? A 5v5 tac shooter. A lot of similarities there. Or perhaps Genshin Impact, taking a lot of gameplay elements from Breath of the Wild.
And I've never played a Genshin Impact, so I don't know how like fair these comparisons are, but that's kind of going back to what I was saying. Like, all these similar developers work on similar projects. You have to take inspiration from somewhere. I don't think these are like, obviously they're different. They have their own fan bases. If someone who, like, I feel like someone who loves Zelda probably isn't playing Genshin Impact, and vice versa.
I played a fuck ton of Only Up, taking direct inspiration from the Fadian forefathers of Getting Over It, and basically stealing assets outright. I mean, this game also
games can have similar mechanics. Oh, absolutely, yes.
Of what might
like Resident Evil, like there's similar games to Resident Evil that are out there. Obviously, they don't do it as well as Resident Evil because it's very like, I think more in-depth mechanics that they've developed over time, and that's why they don't pop off. But like people would still play those who love Resident Evil if it was like one for one or like at least fairly similar. You know what I mean?
Happen to Palworld, because this game got taken down from Steam for using stolen assets from Unity, and it got massively popular because it was really fun to play, but it eventually caught up to it. All right, the dev took down the game because they couldn't get away with stealing all the assets, like this anime girl right here. And if it's found out eventually that there are any stolen assets, I think the same thing would happen. But we have to wait for it to be found out. You can't jump the gun.
I agree.
Having said that, fans of Palworld are not doing the devs a favor by making all the comparisons. If you watch somebody stream Palworld, they'll sometimes just call the pals Pokemon outright. They'll just say Mons, they'll say Pokemon, whatever.
Oh yeah, that's what I would call them as well.
You know Palworld already has Pokemon? That's right, the first mod pack for Palworld is already out, and it is an overhaul.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like if Nintendo had any claims where they could be able to like sue Palworld if it's not similar. I mean, I don't know how you get much similar than this. This is pretty much Pokemon. I feel like they would.
Yeah, so this is a problem. Now we have gone too far. Science has gone too far. I think this is one, making the game
Is that just modding?
Massively more popular, all the comparisons to Pokemon, and two, perhaps going to screw it over if everyone
that's a good point. Yeah,
actually
good point.
Stealing assets to make the game more popular. I think Palworld needs to probably admonish this and separate themselves
Yeah.
from modders trying to
100%,
make
yeah. Yeah.
from modders trying to
100%,
make
yeah.
Pokemon but for adults and try to form their own identity. And that's the whole story. That's where we're at right now. We're basically waiting for things to get proven. The devs haven't said any more. They haven't mentioned use of AI. He just said the thing about, hey, please don't flame my.
Like I said, it's yeah, pretty much a basis claim. It's pretty much just a basis claim. At the end of the day, like a lot of hate for no reason.